The groundbreaking TV show Transparent is expanding our understanding of gender identity. Jill Soloway is the show's Emmy and Golden Globe-winning creator. In the new memoir, She Wants It, Desire, Power, and Toppling the Patriarchy. Soloway shares her journey to identifying as non-binary. Now, that means referring to oneself as neither woman nor man and using the pronoun they instead of she or he. Soloway also describes the impact of their father coming out as transgender woman, which is also the basis of Transparent. Jill Soloway joins us at the table. Hey, Jill Soloway.
Yeah.
So I have to confess, you're the first non-binary person that we've had at the table that we know about. So I think we should take it. So I think a lot of people need an education, myself included, because you were born, you called it yourself in the book a straight BN, a heterosexual, a heterosexual woman.
Yes.
And during the course of your father's coming out,
Yes.
father's transgender, you started realizing things about yourself. So what does this mean exactly, non-binary?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It is a very new thing, and it's part of the trans spectrum. So the word trans means bridge, and a lot of people are familiar with people who go from one to the other, assigned male at birth, transition, and identify as female. But there are some people who stay on the bridge and who are, I describe it to people as I'm sort of male, sort of female, sort of both, sort of neither, constantly changing. And I like to say she is fine. When people say she and her, I don't correct them, but when people say they and them, it's like frosting. It's like just an extra, oh wow, I feel seen, which would mean that you guys all see me as not necessarily a woman, not necessarily a man, but
What's wrong with seeing? I mean, I stumbled and bumbled leading to their memoir because I wanted to say her memoir. What's wrong with saying her, he, she? Why is that no longer?
There are some people who feel like that the word she describes somebody who is female, or sometimes somebody who is femme or female presenting. There's certain expectations around she that don't necessarily feel resonant with me.
Yeah.
And same with he. Some people don't really necessarily feel that he describes them. It's more or less a third gender.
So the book is called She Wants It.
Yes.
It's not referring to you then. Who is this referring to?
Thank you for asking that. Yeah, it is a little bit referring to me because I have been a she my whole life. And the book is about desire. So when I was in my early 20s, I wrote a documentary proposal called She Wants It. And I was really thinking about these things like consent and gender. This very question we're asking right now, which is, are women less trusted when it comes to consent than men? Does being female or femme or feminine put you at a disadvantage to be trusted when you're talking about whether or not you consented? And, when you become a director, it's all about desire, wanting, wanting, wanting. I want this camera, I want this set, I want these actors. But the phrase she wants it is a phrase that one man might say to another to insult a woman.
Yeah.
She wants it or she wanted it means she deserved what she got.
It's an interesting journey for you because you're doing this show and sometimes you're wondering, is it fiction or reality? Because in some way you're writing about a character, but you're also writing about your own life.
Yes. I feel very lucky that I get to use my television making as art as a way to process my own reality.
And do you have people who respond and say, thank God, because she gets it, I am understood, or do you have people who say, huh?
I mostly get people to say, thank God, that you're saying these things and doing these things because it allows me to see versions of myself that are possible.
And people feel seen. I love that expression.
Yeah, they do.
Finally feel seen.
Yeah.
And you write that you wrote Transparent to try and hurry up and change the world.
Yeah. Yeah, when my parent came out, it was a different world. It was about 5 years ago. And I remember thinking, if I can write something quickly enough where my parent can feel safe in the world, even as simple as getting in the elevator with other people or getting into a taxi cab and feeling like people might meet my parent and say, oh, I've seen Transparent, I understand.
And it's a groundbreaking program, and yet so many people still have so many unanswered questions about it. Do you have people asking you questions all the time?
Yeah, I think a very simple thing is like the binary is not that dependable in all ways. Good girl, bad girl, victim, villain, man, woman. There's stuff in between the binary that I think is going to help us get through this next phase of humanity.
It's interesting, too, that you're with Amazon because so many networks didn't want to touch it. You went from Amazon, the shopping place where I buy my banana slicer and order my chargers. But Amazon took this on because they clearly saw something that other people did not see.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm really grateful that they did. Yeah, it's an amazing place for innovation. I remember actually being here with Jeff Bezos speaking with you guys a few years ago and really feeling like, wow, that to be able to put television and content together with, the kind of services they provide and the stuff they sell is kind of a new thing.
But big changes at the show because the star Jeffrey Tambor has now left the show, asked to leave the show because of allegations associated with the Me Too movement. How do you pivot when the whole show was basically based on the coming out?
Yeah, well, that's why we're hoping that people will tune in for our 5th and final season, which is actually going to be a movie musical. So we're pivoting in a way that I think is helping the show transition in people's minds to something that can be joyful and exploratory and fun and bring the joy.
All right, we should say that Jeffrey denies the charges. That's important to say. But Jill, thank you, because I have so many questions. I'm really glad that we could ask them and you not think stupid with 2 O's, because I think a lot of people are very curious.
I'm really happy to be that person who helps people ask questions that seem, it's all. I want to bring some fun to the conversation.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes.
Jill Soloway. She Wants It goes on sale tomorrow.